ये है नवीद रमज़ान, रब का मेहमान है ये, हम पर एहसान है ये, रब का मेहमान है ये, हम पर एहसान है ये। कर लो इबादत तुम, रब का है फरमान। ये है नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान, नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान।
Muhammad wa ala Ali Muhammad wa barik wasallam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Right, I missed out yesterday again, and today, alhamdulillah, with everybody's du'as, I'm feeling better, so I'm here. So, as the formality normally goes, whenever I miss out, I get extra airtime. So as regards yesterday, they were talking about du'as. I picked up bits and bobs about it. I need to say one thing before. I like to go straight for the solution. Yeah, I don't like discussing problems. Yeah.
No, but what if somebody's not tuned in from yesterday?
Yeah, so that's why I'm just going to quickly recap.
Okay, well,
recap in my way.
Yes. People like me, I wasn't here.
You wasn't here, Acha, so you need a lot of du'as.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first and most important thing is making dua. Number one, do we consider it important or not? Amongst the youth, we find that youngsters make dua when they're in trouble or when they need something. Okay, so it's a very selfish based act of worship for them. Okay, secondly, when they make dua, they don't know how to make dua. For example, the elders say you must cry, and then they heard the hadith of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that make a face that cries, and then they think, what? So, okay, are we pretending before Allah? So they have some questions regarding how to make dua. And the last thing is getting what they want. I want to get onto what they want. So maybe we can wrap this program up in about 30 seconds now. I say, if you want something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people talk about yaqeen, knowing that He's going to give. So the way that I make dua, the way that I see Buzurgs make dua is, there's no way Allah is not going to give me this. Okay, now the clarification of that is the hadith where, I think it's in Tirmidhi Sharif, where the Prophet ﷺ said that whatever you ask for is given to you immediately, or you are protected against something evil coming your way, or is left for the hereafter. Now our elders used to say, oh, on the Day of Judgment you wish that everything was left for the hereafter. Yeah, because you work in this world for as long as you're here, and you work for the hereafter for as long as you're going to be there. So you'd be wishing that all your du'as were held up for you and to save you and to help you, give you greater maqam in Jannat and away from hellfire as much as possible. So as regards the current situation, because to see something in the future is very far off, and God forbid me saying it, it's how should I put it in a nice way, as if it's unreal. Yeah, to a lot of people even death seems like unreal. Even if you're at the graveyard, it seems unreal. Right, okay, is that you texting me? Achha. So basically what I say is, to get something here and now, what do you say? One of the things you can say is, Ya Allah, if you give me this, it's not going to make a difference. It's like a backdoor into dua. If you give me this, it's not going to make a difference to you. Okay. It's not going to reduce your treasures even a needle amount, but it's going to make difference to me. It's going to make difference to me. Yeah? And if this dua was better kept for me for the hereafter, you could give me there and you could give me here as well. Because it behoves you for not giving. Allah feels, what's the word, shy? Allah feels shy in not giving when asked. Okay?
But we're discussing here, the youth is shy from asking.
Yeah.
That's the question at hand that we left with yesterday.
The issue with that is everything that I've heard from yesterday and today. I think the issue that is within the youth, not just the youth, the elders as well, is yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tawakkul ala Allah. This is one key thing missing when we make dua. Having that yaqeen that Allah is there. Allah can listen. He is Sami'un Basir. If we make dua, but yet do we actually have yaqeen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that dua? this is this is the barrier that I think majority of the people have.
But is
Some of the youngsters are not even making the dua. That's the issue, isn't it?
that's the main problem.
Yeah.
The world's so fast that no
Yeah.
one even gets the chance to make dua these days. So it needs to kind of,
That's
we need to start at that point.
See, the whole purpose of
Making the
being
dua.
here today is to give you a realistic view. You probably see those guys as Maulvis from the masajid. But Moin, you wouldn't see him on stage on a mimbar.
You can't see me at all, so you don't know how old or young
Look,
I am.
Doc,
Or,
we don't even talk about
yeah.
you, right?
So, okay, but with the Moin, yeah, we have a real life youngster here, subhanallah.
Mashallah.
So, okay,
Wow.
so,
Like we're not real, yeah?
yeah.
okay.
Or young.
So, okay,
We're not real life.
you're cultured.
You're all as young as you feel.
That's
Okay.
Mashallah, mashallah. Age is just a number.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so, Moin, please tell us, is that a major problem? Like Hafsa was saying, where the reason why youngsters don't make dua is because they feel they're not going to get anything.
I don't think it's not the fact that they get anything. I think we live in a world where everything's instant. Everything's quite like you get it as soon as
On
you
demand.
order it. You got Uber Eats, you just order it, it comes to your door. You download things from the internet, you watch a movie. Entertainment's all, first hand. It's all right in front of you. You don't have to go anywhere for it. It's similar with du'as. They expect it there and then, whereas that's just not how du'as work. You make the dua and it either comes to you there and then, it'll come to you later on, or it might not even come to you in this life, as you said before. Might be left to the hereafter.
So whether you're ordering pizza is going to come quickly for your birthday, you say, Dad, give me a PS, otherwise you're not my dad. So you're going to get everything instantly. Yeah? Okay. That's definitely a problem. 100% agree with that, because people want something instantly. How then can we explain the wisdom of not getting it right away?
That's a very difficult
I mean,
question.
yeah,
It's a very difficult question to answer that in the super fast world that we live in today, okay, we live in Manchester, a bit kind of slow, but you go down south to London, people like over here, Bilal, right, over there it's fast and furious, right, everything's just on the go. So I can imagine the problems that they go through when they're making dua.
What was the
a Ferrari
Kyle,
dua.
repeat the question.
Okay, so the question is, how do we instill this wisdom or this logic in the youngsters? Forget the word wisdom. The logic in the youngsters, common sense, yeah, that there's a reason why you're not getting what you want right away.
Awareness.
About
If we teach youngsters, and if youngsters become more aware of the deen and Allah and all the dynamics within Islam, naturally they will learn to be more patient.
Yeah, give me a shortcut solution, because we're talking fast, instant, and shortcut.
So shortcut solution to what?
How do we make them understand that if you're not getting what you want right now, it's good for you? I mean, there's the hadith that comes to my mind, but I was just saying maybe somebody brings in something else first.
If you're not getting something you want right now, it's good for you.
Yeah. So the Prophet
Getting
ﷺ,
the youngsters to understand.
yeah.
that.
So the Prophet ﷺ, he said that sometimes you want something and it's not good for you. And
I have
yeah, go on.
analogy to give.
Go on.
It's like when a baby, is just playing around and finding things, right? And then it's just experimenting, and through the experience learning about the world around it. If as a parent that baby, there's a knife right there, and the baby is about to take a knife and potentially harm himself with it, you would take that knife away. It doesn't matter how much the baby cries for that knife or to be able to play around with it.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's a bit like Allah Ta'ala knows what's right and wrong for you. And for example, even going back to the wealth point, a lot of people would ask for wealth, but Allah Ta'ala has the wisdom and the know-how that if this person wants to gain wealth, there's a story even that a person came to Prophet ﷺ asking for wealth,
Yeah.
and then the
He
Prophet
ended up not
ﷺ
even giving zakat.
yeah. And so Allah knows
that analogy was given to somebody. I like to do things practically and test things out. So I gave that analogy, exactly what you said, to somebody, and the person, look, I'm asking Allah for health. If He gives me health, then I can work, I can serve my parents better, I can go out and have some fresh air, I can do my ibadat better. And when I'm unwell, I'm not going to even get up forget the 5 namazis. I like to get up for tahajjud if I'm well, and do ishaq, charge tawabin and everything else as well.
That's what the person thinks they will do with good health, but Allah Ta'ala knows better what they will actually do with the good health.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good way of answering. Any other answers?
I think a lot of the youth, we don't reflect as much as we should. So you're giving us stories from other people. For example, I say other people as in from your own life. You give examples from the seerah of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But if it's not directly connected to the person, they won't truly understand it. Until they have a live example that's either right in front of them and they experience it third hand, or if they're doing it themselves and it happens to them, that's the only time they'll actually truly understand.
He's right.
Yeah,
And that's
has to be
that's a
personal.
product of the society we're in. Even on like social media and all these other websites we're on, they're designed to feed you what you want to see all the time. So there's algorithms that focus on giving you what you want to see. So you stay on the website.
Bilal always speaks like a professor. Okay, carry on. Come to our level.
The point, no, the point I was making is it's like that even with other aspects of life, right? Because you're so used to that kind of always getting what you want, you expect the same relevance when it comes to doing dua, when it comes to people trying to explain things to you. You expect to receive that information in a way that's very relevant to your life. Going back to what Moeen said, sometimes stories of other situations or events doesn't resonate with the younger audience as much because they feel like they just can't connect with it.
Absolutely, from the Arabian desert and all that kind of thing. You keep on mentioning that word algorithms, and I keep on thinking after the program sometimes, is it an O and a Y in it or an A and an I?
O and an I actually.
Okay,
You've confused me with that one.
I know, yeah.
I'm trying to picture it. Is it?
That was a trick question.
No, all right. Okay.
I think what is that the reality that this world is a test. Okay, people in their supernatural easy life miss to understand is that this life is a test. Even if your dua is not being accepted, it is a test. It's a test. I was watching a clip on YouTube of a sheikh from California, very famous. Not allowed to mention names.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Okay, and he's got a college as well. So.
Any more information?
Okay. So, right, he was
We're
mentioning
actually
a point,
not
and
going to
the ayat of the Quran Pak, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutmainnah irji'i ila rabbika radiyatan mardiyah. Right, he mentioned in a very beautiful way. He said, it's like if a mother was holding a child, and she was to, out of love, throw him up. What happens? The child at first is scared. Like my son, Saad, right? If I do it to him, he starts shivering.
Can you try it with practical
Right.
people?
Yeah.
He's actually tried it, he's saying.
Yeah, I've actually tried it, no.
It's a practical example, this one.
Okay, but when
Real
the child
example.
comes back to the mother's hand, he's at ease.
He feels that comfort.
He's at comfort. The example that he gave, that when we come into this world, we are like that child that's been thrown into the air. And then when we go into the grave, that's us meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah. We're at ease.
Okay. I'm gonna go even really crude and basic, like really ground level. Yeah, that's a good example. I actually like the example, and I tried it on my kid as well a long time ago. That's an old video, really good video.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I'm not a kid, yeah, and I need to understand things according to the way that I grew up in this society. Number one, we're selfish. We need stuff, yeah. Number two, tests. Let's be honest, who wants tests? I mean, I didn't even want a driving test. I just wanted to drive a car. So the thing is that you don't want tests. You don't want, I'm legal by the way, you don't want tests
Sure.
and you don't want, any kind of problem. You just want all good coming your way and happy. So in fact, I heard one person praying once and I thought, wow, what a dua. This person was crying, and I mean like sobbing, yeah, saying, Ya Allah, give me happiness here and give me happiness in the hereafter. And his friend said to him, are you crazy? No, he used the word, are you stupid? He goes, why? He goes, you can't have both. He goes, why not? He said, no, Allah will either give you happiness here or the hereafter. Choose. The guy cried more. So the answer is Allah actually can give you happiness here and there. In fact, according to
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
Right.
That's good in this world and akhirah.
Okay, we're not allowed to mention names, he said, yeah, but his own relatives told me, he's a mufti. He said that, look what you're asking for, hasana. You're only asking for hasana. You're not asking for something material.
That's true.
Well, if you get hasana, you'll get happiness.
MashaAllah, the pursuit of happiness, back on that track again, eh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Who-
in fact,
who's
the...
Hassan?
we
No
don't-
idea.
Is there
Yeah,
someone
but to
called
be
Hassan
fair-
somewhere?
You don't need
My brother-in-law
goodness to be happy. You just need to be content with what you've got.
Then how do you know if goodness will lead to happiness?
It doesn't have to.
But what if it does?
No.
If it does, it does, right?
I'm glad I didn't give him the mic for that. I hope that viewers didn't hear that. No, what are you talking about? Is it riddle time? No, what we're trying to get to a solution, because people are texting, aren't they? They're saying like, we want a solution, we want practical
things.
So we need to give them a practical solution. Let's do a practical solution. Yeah, we have to be really practical about things. Yeah, okay. Allah's real. Okay, so let's be practical. Yeah, why don't we all make a dua now? Let's do this. All the viewers that are listening in now, we're going to make a dua for whatever that they have in their heart, whatever we have in our hearts. Yeah, maybe there'll need to be a third part of this program, because the reason why duas are so important, and when we were like getting this podcast together, that's one of the things we listed, is because you know, we're so much in need. In fact, one sheikh said the basis of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah means, Ya Allah, we're needy. The basis of the kalima is that we're needy.
And that's probably referring to the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. And even now, majority of the believers are poor.
Absolutely.
Because they're the ones that are in need. They want someone more powerful to support them.
Yeah.
And they gave that support through iman upon the Prophet ﷺ. And okay, that's being the seerah. Even today, majority of believers would be those that are not wealthy, those that still need some type of support, those that are financially well off, majority of the West, let's suppose. The reason why they don't actually demand that faith, don't have any need, is because they already have everything. Coming to the point that Moin started off with, we demand, everything's on demand. They have everything on demand. And once they've gained everything, now they question themselves, okay, do I still need to believe in someone to ask for something which I already have? My fame, my money, my glamour has already got me everything I could want. So why would I need someone to believe in? Why would I believe in something I can't see?
That's a fair point.
You know, can I just say one quick thing? You know, like you reach like the end level there. In other words, when you have everything. Okay, so.
But that's what they
like,
call
this is the
reality.
So some of you guys know the idea with like suicide cases as well. The worst suicide note which I've ever read in my life was a man who wrote, I have everything that I want in my life, so there's nothing else to live for, and he killed himself. So who says that when you have everything, as Moin was, it necessarily gives you happiness?
Statistically speaking, majority of suicide cases take place in the West, and it's majority of those are from millionaires. If you summarize it, break it down further, it's the far end, the spectrum, the super rich who are actually committing the most suicide, compared to those on the other side of the spectrum, the super poor. They're not committing that suicide because they still have that hope.
But I think
they're lingering on that hope that it's going to happen.
You know, a youngster said. You know, a youngster said that he used a new word. He said that makes logical sense. I'll go, that's a new word in the dictionary. It means
logical sense.
Two words mean the same thing. But anyway, he wanted to stress it. That does make logical sense, doesn't it? Because you look at the end of the day, what you're trying to get, happiness and competence and success and power and influence, and what do you get at the end? Death. In other words, you kill yourself. So from what you said, I never read those statistics, but it's good to know stuff like that. So the more you have, the more chances that you're going to.
I think also it's worth mentioning that, you know, we're trying to link two things here. One is dua, and you know, the need for a bigger being, a higher being, and two is happiness. Well, we're not saying that the people in the West, for example, are happy. Well, but what we're saying is because they have everything, they almost start challenging that. Okay, if there's a God, I'm going to disobey him. Let's see what happens, in a way. And you know, they're almost using their wealth as proof to try to challenge the idea that, you know, if there was a God and I was disobedient, why wouldn't he punish me?
I think what is happening here, you're giving examples of people who are super of people who are super rich. Okay, we are talking about people who live on the streets, normal people who come to the masjid. Okay, super rich person can't come to the masjid. Okay, but I'm just giving an example of the normal youth. Okay, now the normal youth, okay, they come to the masjid. They see, right. You see people who come to the masjid, and they see Maulvi Sahab on the mimbar, on the Jummah saying, this Waliullah made dua, his dua was accepted like this. He did this, he accepted, his dua was accepted like that. Okay. Now, in the mind of the youth is, okay, who can I find that people? Where's that person? whose
So
dua is
you're
accepted
saying-
like that.
You're saying it's about setting the right expectations. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
If
think-
you come to the masjid, you'll find like that. They'll give you example of Musa alayhi salam, that person
This
who
goes back
turned
to-
into a dog because whose dua was accepted straight away.
This goes
So
back to awareness, right? You're right that a lot of the stories we hear in mosques are of, awliya.
Superficial, aren't they?
Yeah. They're very like,
they're real, but
the-
the thing is that for our time they seem like for example, I'll tell you the biggest one that I heard was the ulama in the masjid saying, you're trying to find a wali, go to your parents. Yeah, their du'as will go. So I know so many youngsters going to their parents, mum, dad, please make this one. Been years, then they say, are parents gunagar? Are they sinful? I mean, are they disobedient to Allah? That's supposed to, because this is what it says in hadith, and this is not happening because they don't understand, that 3-point plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Either he gives it right away, or he knocks away something bad coming your way in your kismat, or he leaves it for the hereafter. But as regards instant satisfaction, and I have to say what Hafsa was saying, because of instant satisfaction, we go to these so-called ruhani ilaj babe.
Not just that. You can go even one step further.
Yeah.
Put Ruhani Baba or Ruhani piece out to one side. People go to Haram
Yeah.
in Ihram, and the Hadith of Pak say you look at the Kaaba the first time, the dua you make is
Yeah.
accepted straight away. People are going to that extent and making dua, and the duas are not being accepted. Then what?
Yeah. So basically, I had a relative. He went to Haram Sharif because he heard in, I think it was 2007, I think it was, that Imam Mahdi was coming. Yeah. Now I was thinking, why does he want to go there? Because so many people, the word spread that Imam Mahdi was coming 2007. Get to Haram Sharif. He'll
And
be in his army.
He actually made his way there.
Yeah, he actually went there.
Mashallah.
Hajj, yeah. So a number
See,
of
that's
people.
yaqeen,
That's
isn't it?
yaqeen.
That's
That's
but
yaqeen.
now look at the why he went there. Did he want to go and fight for the cause of Islam? No,
No.
because he was absolutely miserable and he wanted some happiness. He wanted to meet Imam Mahdi. That was the reason. It wasn't that he wanted to fight in his army. Yeah, but the point, looking for support, like Bilal Bhai was saying, looking for support. What support? The support of who? For example, I'm not getting something instantly, then what am I going to do? I am going to sell some drugs. Yeah, and then I'm going to get my Ferrari. Yeah. Or today, earlier on, I was speaking to a certain business, and the lady was talking about the power of social media, and she said one of the kids that I know in my area said that I want to be like Kim Kardashian. Yeah, we could say that name, popular name. And he goes, and I go, right, okay. And I said that we were talking about power of social media, and this lady on the phone, white English lady, she said, I want to be, I think her name is Jenner or something, I don't know the proper name, but Jenner. I said, why? I said, well, Kim's a millionaire, she's a billionaire. I said, and she goes, look at the power of social media. This is why so many youngsters are on there as well. They do nothing. The Kardashian family do absolutely nothing, and they send out clips, yeah, and they become famous and people like them, and this is how things work. I mean, seriously, people like Habib had to work hard, in the ring, and other people like that. It's not easy. But maybe for the Kardashians, it's not easy looking like that. But the thing is, the important thing is people want something instantly. Whether they get it by hook or crook, the halal way or the haram way, all we're trying to say is there is a support for you, other than like income support from the government, universal credit these days, yeah. I mean, other than that, yeah, where you have to live off the means, there is support for you, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my big thing now is, how do you get that selfish person to understand that we have to be, I'm going to say something like, on the other side now, to be selfless. In other words, you're here to please Allah and not to please yourself. You're here to live life the way that Allah wants you to live, not the way that you want to live your life. How do we get people who are making du'as? I know the subject is
very
dua,
simple.
to that.
Very simple. Making them understand the purpose of life. That's it. Once you understand the purpose of life, all of these things will fall into place. If you understand that you're here purely for this, to worship Allah Ta'ala, to be a positive contribution to society and your neighbors and all of this, very quickly your whole objective of what you want in life starts to change. A lot of the even the aspirations that the youngsters do dua for are very, as we were discussing, superficial, right? But that's coming out of the environment and the people they see, going back to your point on social media. So this is what they're always exposed to. So as a natural result of the society they live in, That's the expectation they have from Allah Ta'ala. Instant gratification. I want to be rich, I want to be famous, I want to be all of these things that I see other people do on social media. How do you tackle that? It's purely from raising awareness of the true purpose of life. That's it. It's as simple as that. Once you start to do that, everything else will, people will start to reflect on, okay, if that's the true purpose of my life, then is that really the right thing for me to be asking for or aspiring towards? And naturally then that shifts the aspirations, and as the aspirations shift, your happiness, or what your happiness is based on, shifts as well. So instead of money, it goes more towards building a relationship with Allah Ta'ala,
To an extent that does click, because a lot of people that actually leave their lifestyle, whatever background they came from, they've left dead 30, 40 years of a lifestyle they've had. But when they come to the masajid, once they come to the path of the deen, come to the point that Bilal is mentioning, essentially they've clicked, something's clicked up there, and they've realized that the purpose of life isn't what I was doing for the last 40 years, 30 years. Or even if somebody in his teens has made tawbah and he's come towards his path, he realizes his purpose of life. And once his purpose of life is understood and it's clicked, straight away his du'as, his inspirations, everything will start to change. And that's how that's steadily you'll see that change happening. And if we can build that awareness at a mass level, or let's say for masajid, I suppose, giving solutions. If masajid can have, let's say, train their students as soon as they come in, when they start reciting the Alif Ba Ta Tha, from that age, 5, 6 years old, they are school trained that this is your purpose. And yesterday we were mentioning congregational dua. Make those kids make dua together, and those du'as should be for the hereafter, for the akhirah, for the betterment in terms of their deen. And this can only be done once you have that environment. One of the messages I got from yesterday's talk was that some people were sending me solutions as well. One of the solutions that kept coming back was, not until you facilitate that environment, you're not going to get anywhere. Because kids now, they live in that social media environment, so they inspire to that. We need to provide an environment, show them this is another environment where the focus is on the deen, is on the akhirah. If that's done from an early age, throughout his lifetime, his du'as, you'll see they'll change. An example is of Dawat Islami, for example. You have, over the board, if you look at it, the du'as that they make, their youth, their du'as are very different to what other people are making. And the only difference is because they've been exposed to that environment. And I think that's where,
I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you another scenario now. Look, we are given examples of people who are well off. He may be a youth, he may be a person who's a super rich person. What about those people who are in a war zone? Their life is difficult. Their life, day in, day out, night, day, wherever they go, their life is difficult. Now, how are they going to find the purpose of life? You find those people, they'll go to Haram, right? And they'll be making du'as, Ya Allah, destroy America, Ya Allah, destroy UK, this and that. I'm just giving you an example. These are the type of du'as you do. What's the solution for them?
Okay, when we were talking about the desert of Arabia and Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam coming 1400 years ago, similarly, one of the things I find is when we talk about people in war zones, people can't relate. So here we're not in a war zone. So here, because it's like a UK transmission, if it's for Yemen or somewhere else, please donate to Yemen. Worst world crisis in the world, though the media isn't showing it, we're showing it in our transmission. It's the world's worst humanitarian crisis at the moment. So I would say two things. Number one, I don't want the audience to say, oh, these God squad on there again, talking about connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to talk just a little psychological here. We know people who are not Muslim but are content and satisfied. Why? Because they understand, they've seen life. Okay, they accept life. Okay, I have this sofa, next door's got a better leather sofa, but the thing is that I'm okay on my sofa. I've got this Toyota car, nothing against people with Toyotas, but the next door's got Merc and a BM. So basically, but I'm okay with my Toyota. Gets me from A to B. You just feel satisfied. Even non-Muslims feel that. So one of the things that sometimes when we have a religious program, what we tend to do is some people, they just talk down to others. Yeah, we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to be at the same level. Yeah. So the thing is, number one, yes, there is our what Hafiz Saab said, really important. That if we were taught right from the beginning by our parents, by our teachers, by our environment, and less of social media, etc., that accept whatever situation that Allah puts you in as a situation of contentment and satisfaction for yourself, just accept it. Yeah, you get used to it.
Even you're right. From in madrasas, you're taught وَالْقَدْرِ خَيْرِهِ وَشَرِّهِ مِنَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. Every child knows that line by heart.
Yeah.
If only those teachers would elaborate on that.
Yes.
And just tell them what it means by وَالْقَدْرِ خَيْرِهِ وَشَرِّهِ مِنَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى.
In English
I
language.
guess though, when you're a child though, even if it's explained to you, you still don't fully, you can't comprehend
if you
it
keep
at that
mentioning
age.
it again and again over the years, somewhere down the line it will register.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they say, innit? A child's like a clay. If you embed it in them, it'll turn into stone, and it'll kind of.
We always say if you don't give a child a lollipop, forget a lollipop. Talk about adult now. We don't give a child or an adult a lollipop. He wants the whole lollipop shop. You know, Data Friduddin Ganchakar Bakhsh Rahmatullahi, I'm thinking about him. You know, one of the things, I was dealing with certain relationship problems recently, and what I came across is people are making du'as. Now, what dua are you making? Because remember, in the previous programs, we discussed what some of the biggest problems. Number one is relationship. Number two is financial, etc. But sometimes they say when health kicks in, forget everything else. Health becomes number one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you're making du'as. So when they were making du'as, one relative was saying to the other one, "May Allah guide you," and the other one saying, "May Allah deal with you." I think, right, okay. Now look at the wording that's used. Why were they using these words? Yeah, Baba Friduddin Kanchakar Bashar. Initially, I asked one teacher this. Initially, I said, "How do you put right relationships? How do you put right your life, your wealth, your health, everything?" Yeah, this is how you do it. Number one is selfishness. The basic level of a human being is need, so it's selfishness. Above that, once we come to above that, it's like sharing. Let's share with one another. Before it's gimme, 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 all mine. Yeah, reminds me of a song. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay, money, 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 give me honey. It's a rich man's world. Anyway, so the thing is that it's, first of all,
now you know which generation he's from.
Yeah, ABBA. Anyway, so 70s, 80s. So anyway, but the thing is that it's like, oh, give me, and then the next part is sharing for humanitarian purposes, and humanitarianism comes before religiosity, and then the level comes to another level where I love you, I'm going to help you, I care for you, I trust for you for the sake of Allah. Yeah, not that I've tested you. Nah, you may be untrustworthy, but I'm going to give you a good opinion. I'm going to be aware. I'm not going to be a dopey, but I'm going to be a good opinion. I'm going to be aware, but I'm going to give you a chance for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You hurt me 200 times. I'm going to give you the 201th chance now for the sake of Allah. Why? Because look, now you're looking, now you're content, now you're satisfied. So these du'as aren't just for wealth or relationships or health, other thing. There's another du'a as well. The other du'a is, Ya Allah, you know, for example, Moin, what car do you drive? Like he drives, let's just say he drives a good car. He does, isn't it? Mercedes, mashallah. I didn't want to say. So okay, so don't want to put any audience down or ourselves, but I don't have a car. So basically, you know, with the Mercedes, you know, if I say to Moin, can I borrow your Mercedes for the 7th time in the week? And if there were 8 days, I would actually buy it on the 8th day as well. And then Moin says, "Yar, I'm yours." Yeah, so I go, okay, so if Moin's mine, the Mercedes is mine. Yeah, because he owns the Mercedes. If Allah's yours, Allah owns everything, then everything is yours. What is yours? Contentment and satisfaction, because Allah creates those. Allah is the one who creates contentment. I hope that was too philosophical. But the thing is that I was thinking, you know, why do I feel, real life thing. Some Thursdays ago, Mum said, "You make dua for khatam." Yeah, so I was, and I raised my hands, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know what to ask for." She goes, "What?" She goes, "Do the noble duas." Yeah, I was okay. Do the noble. But at that point, I got a bit stuck. Why? Good thing on that Thursday evening, I'm not always like this. I just felt like so calm, satisfied, happy, content. And I was thinking, what shall I ask for? As if I've got everything in the world. I hope those Thursdays last. But the thing is that everything in the world, I just felt so good. So then the best dua that I made, right, I thought, this was personal, I thought the best dua that I made was, Ya Allah, forget the dunya, forget Jannat, forget protection from dozak. Whatever I am, whoever I am, whatever I am, as long as you consider me to be yours, I'm fine. Because I'm not asked anything from myself. I'm saying it for what Allah would be pleased with.
I think we're getting to a level which is much beyond.
Yeah, I want you to do that because he signals it's 5 minutes. So I said, well, why stay on the ground level, man? Let's go into the heavens.
Because I think at the end of the day, what the youth is looking for as a basic next step, really, it's about step by step, right? It's solutions to allow them to, one, build that connection with Allah Ta'ala, and how do they do it through dua?
Yeah.
Right. So what's the solution?
So the solution is selfish level. We're talking about the bottom selfish level. Yeah. So I just explained the 3 grades, but the third way. So here's the solution now. Every viewer now in their heart thinks about what they really want. Yeah. This isn't putting Allah to the test. This is actually putting ourselves to the test. Yeah. And then obviously, some people don't want to hear, oh, you have to have haram rizq inside your stomach. Yeah, and not live in a stolen house and not have hurt people and ask forgiveness and not breaking relations. We all know that. We say, Ya Allah, forgive us for that. And if there's something to give back to somebody, we'll give it back in installments. Yeah, we can't give it right away. Okay, because we're a bit stingy misers at the moment. But the thing is that, Ya Allah, you can correct that as well. So the dua we're going to make now is that, Ya Allah, for all the viewers and all of us here, give us what we want. Give us what we want, Ya Allah, because you're Allah, and there is no way you will not give us. We have yaqeen. There is no way, yaqeen, that word that mom and dad keep on using, we don't know what it means. It means there's no way that you're not going to give us this. Yeah, Ya Allah, the reason why we're asking for this, here's the top up, from smallest to the highest level, is because our faith in you will increase. Our faith in you will increase. Ya Allah, you're there. We believe. Yeah, like Ibrahim al-Aslam, we believe, but Ya Allah, how do you recreate a Quranic ayah? Yeah. So the thing is that, Ya Allah, we believe in the hereafter, we believe in you, but Ya Allah, just refresh our faith. That will give you contentment and satisfaction.
Fair enough.
Say Ameen.
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 ये है नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान, नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान। रब का मेहमान है ये, हम पर एहसान है ये। रब का मेहमान है ये, हम पर एहसान है ये। कर लो इबादत तुम, रब का है फरमान। ये है नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान, नवीद रमज़ान, ये है नवीद रमज़ान।